Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Wayne. The insane Wayne. The insane Daryl Wayne. And we're going to spend some time with a number of people this hour. Daryl and I are going to chit-chat at the end of the hour. A PR person, we're going to talk to her about how Late Night Health works with her clients. And we're going to begin with our regular contributor, Greg Salea, Dr. Greg Salea. He is a nutritionist as well. He has a master's degree. He's certified in a couple of different areas. And I'm going to call him Greg right now. He's been my personal physician and chiropractor for over 30 years. And Greg, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Hey, Mark, the 30 years, that's kind of crazy, but the pleasure's all mine.
Well, thank you. We've socialized, not enough, but we socialized with Greg and his wife. Greg and I have done TV shows, video shoots. Greg has done exercise videos with me. I'm trying to think, and lots of radio, right?
Yeah, and it's Mark, it's been fantastic. It's just been amazing. It really has been.
Well, this is our 300th episode of Late Night Health. Isn't that amazing?
Wow. 300th. Just like 30 years. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is amazing. And you were one of our first guests, one of our first supporters, and we certainly do appreciate that. What do you think Late Night Health is? What does it mean to you, not only as a chiropractor, but as an educator as well?
I think it's a great format to get people to start to understand something about their health. People don't seem to know. I don't know if maybe they just don't care, they don't know, or they don't hear it. But I think your program brings this to light and lets them listen to things they would normally not choose to listen to or have no idea about. Which is great. I mean, I see so many patients that truly don't have any idea about their health. And it's kind of an alarming thing. And of course, their health is suffering. So I think it's a great format.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I read somewhere that people spend more time picking out the car that they're going to drive than they do about feeding their family or taking care of their own health.
It's funny you bring that up. I was just talking to a patient yesterday that knows somebody that's kind of in that same arena. So they're driving $100,000 cars, but when it goes to find time to spend a few extra bucks for the right food, they don't understand it. And so they're trying to get cheap on buying food, but yet not cars. And it's kind of a funny thing because you are what you eat, and your health is really so important as far as what you're consuming, but you're not going to be able to drive those $100,000 cars for long if you don't take care of your body.
No, of course not. Oh, and your mind.
Absolutely.
Right? In what we do, and actually you were there at the very beginning of Late Night Health. I woke up and I was bent over at 90-degree angle, hobbled into your office, and you popped me. And I'm being facetious when I say you popped me, but he gave me ultrasound and other treatments and then gave me a chiropractic adjustment, and I was fine. But 3 or 4 days later, it happened again. And after the third time or fourth time, my wife suggested strongly that I go to somebody else. And I did.
Sure.
And I was offered drugs, which I turned down. I was offered a shot, which I turned down. And I took physical therapy, which is akin to chiropractic in my mind. In chiropractic terms, it's physiotherapy rather than physical therapy. And I went through 4 or 5 treatments, and Anthem Blue Cross denied the claim. So I was back to you, because I was in pain. But I was furious at Anthem Blue Cross. And that's about the time that Daryl called me and said, hey, what would you do if you go back on radio? Something he may be regretting to this day. I don't know.
Yeah, well, when it comes to insurance companies, they kind of make decisions, and they don't necessarily have a lot of the ability to do so, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, they shouldn't, because they're not doctors, and then they hire, they hire doctors, chiropractors, and specialists to deny claims.
Sure.
And I find that reprehensible.
Yeah, but it's money, and the problem is that we see this all the time. So, for example, people end up with reoccurring chronic issues. And if a condition is reoccurring, there needs to be additional testing that needs to be performed to find out why it's happening. And I can't tell you how many times, for example, a request to do an MRI is denied. And I think MRIs are great, and I think everybody should have them before they walk in the door. But, insurance companies feel something different. So, yeah.
And that's using chiropractic, which a lot of people consider alternative health. I think it's more mainstream than alternative myself. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Greg.
It is getting mainstream. But here again, this is what your show has done. So most of the time, people are just taking their lumps of sugar with what the insurance company says to do. But your show has taught them that there's other options out there and other things to look for. So they're not stuck like they, have been in the past if they're open to understanding.
And at the same time, we don't say, hey, this is the only way to do it. We're offering options. Chiropractic works for many people. And
sure.
For other people, it may not.
Absolutely. Put it this way. If there was something that worked for everybody else would be out of business.
Right. Exactly.
So
it's an interesting quagmire that we live in, because our health is really being governed by the insurance companies.
Yeah, that and pharmaceutical. And, don't get me wrong, I think medications are really important. I think without them we'd be dead. But, and here's kind of a controversial subject for you, but do you think a lot of these companies are out there trying to develop cures for for diseases?
Yeah, you and I have talked about this. Is cancer curable? To many alternative health practitioners, they say absolutely, but it won't be, because it's such a cash cow for big pharma.
It's a big deal. And so, the problem, cancer is a pretty in-depth scenario, because a lot has gone wrong for a long period of time for this to occur. But people don't understand that. They think it's just an instant thing all of a sudden, and they're going to take the magic pill and be well, and it's not going to happen. You've got to put in the time, just like the guy who's not putting in the time doing the right foods, but driving a $100,000 car. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Now, I've been at Greg's house, and you're pretty much gluten-free.
Yes.
Low sugar.
No sugar.
No sugar. Woo. What about natural sugar, like eating a peach?
Yeah, no problems. It depends on the scenario. So we do a lot of modified paleo, sometimes autoimmune protocols. It really depends upon what's going on. Sometimes keto, sometimes fasting, sometimes, modified fasting. So there's a lot of different programs that we'll run in and out of, depending upon what's going on with our lives, or just even to try to maintain better health.
But what about taste? I mean, to me, I eat for taste. I know that sounds trite, but...
No, that's right. That's what people do. So what happens is you're so used to certain flavors and tastes, and, the commercial market has made it so these tastes are exaggerated. And they want you to buy more. It's part of what it is. When you start eating healthy, you finally don't want to eat that caliber of food anymore because it tastes exaggerated. It doesn't taste good anymore. And you get used to it. In fact, you would choose rather not to have those exaggerated tastes. And, it's like if you wanted to give me a big piece of birthday cake right now, it's like, no, I think I'm good. I'm not going to go down that path because I don't think it tastes good.
Is it your birthday?
No, but it could be.
Oh, okay. It's our birthday. It's our birthday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Well, and you also make gluten-free cookies. And
we do.
Right? We have somebody coming on the show who makes a gluten-free cheesecake and some other products that are really quite tasty. And for the most part, they follow what you said: gluten-free, sugar-free, always sugar-free. They do have dairy in the cheesecake. I really like this cheesecake, and cheesecakes, besides being so expensive, a cheesecake can be $50-$60, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And these are not that expensive, and they have not only don't they cost as much, but they have less calories and much less fat. Our guest is Dr. Greg Celea. He was one of our first guests on the show 300 episodes ago. And wow. I thought, can't believe it. And so we're kind of reminiscing about where late night health has gone and where it's going, I suppose. We're going to take some time out. If you go to Dr. Celea, DrCelaya.com, am I right? Did I remember correctly?
That's perfect. Sure is.
DrCelea.com. You'll find out some more information about Dr. Celea and what he does. We're going to take some time out. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. I'm Mark Alyn. This is Late Night Health. Join us at LateNightHealth.com.
Change can be disruptive, but only if you allow it to be. Great renewal is always born from change. If you find that your life hasn't been a smooth sail, know the winds of change will eventually take you to a peaceful shore. There will always be setbacks, but they're never permanent. The sun will rise again, and the weather will always clear after a storm. Let your smile be a great reminder of your blessings. It's time to set your sights on a new goal and persevere. The great goal is to love. So simply love.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit GuideToTheSoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on LateNightHealth.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
It is the latest from the greatest. We've had some really good conversations over the 5 years that this program has been going on with some great rock artists and some people from behind the scenes, authors and otherwise producers. Some of those have been captured on the latest for the greatest Volume 1. It's available on Amazon, or if you go to blackstoneaudio.com or Amazon, search for Daryl Wayne, Darrell Wayne.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and I said Wayne insane.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.